धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः।
ओम शनं भवतु
सहना
सहनं भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनाधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति. Let us sit together and study. Through discussion, we sharpen each other's intellect. May we not bear any ill will towards each other. Peace, peace, peace. Let peace prevail.
So, Amitav, now we are kind of on chapter 11, which I feel is the peak of Gita. We have talked many times before that Krishna is doing a guided meditation to Arjun. He's guiding him through different meditation, gyan, practice, karma, and all that. I mean, if you see that, the chapter 1 is where Arjun gets kind of overwhelmed. And that's when, good thing for us that he got overwhelmed because Gita happened. And then when Krishna comes in, he gives him some basic gyan in the beginning. And, what karma is and what swadharma is. And so there is a lot of preparation. And then it continues from chapter 3 to 6, in different forms: karma, dhyan, balance, steadiness. It's like all the kind of questions that Arjuna answers, he keeps on answering in a very nice way. Gita gradually kind of moves on this chapter wise, and Krishna satisfies all these answers, sthita pragya, and all that definitions that we read about. Comes to 8, 9, 10, become more, I think, goes deeper into the heart, or, it's like into the existential questions. And then here we come. So your take on it, the progression, what do you think? I mean, how do you see this progression?
Exactly. That's why I call Gita more a book of knowledge. Okay.
Yeah.
We find that Arjun is in a dilemma. He's paralyzed. His thought process is very much paralyzed. But here, there is no commandment. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
There's no commandment.
Yeah.
He wants to develop Arjun spiritually and tell him how one as an individual level should be conquering their ego, expectation, all the previous conditioning,
Yeah.
how one has to be balanced, how one has to be very, very careful how they practice all their deeds and duties. And then gradually he shifts him to what is knowledge at the personal level of soul and who he is actually, and then how is this world or the universe functions, its cosmic form, its time, how it involutes and evolves. Then gradually, as you said, from 7th chapter onward, he talks about that great life energy of the universe. He slowly unfolds it. And
how he pervades everything. Yeah.
And in doing so, what he is doing, giving Arjun a wholesome concept of his life, his work, understanding of his surrounding and the universe. Okay. And now Arjun in the very first verse says that my delusions are gone. Okay.
Yeah.
He admits that his delusion is gone. And now can you show me your true form or the cosmic form? So Krishna says in verse 4 or 5, I think, that I have offered you this inner vision. Now you can see how I function and how this whole universe functions through me. And that is the pinnacle of this knowledge of Brahma Gyan, or the understanding the universal life energy, and how everything exists within him
Yeah.
or within this energy. It's not outside.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything that is happening is within the realm of this whole universal life energy of the Brahman, which Krishna is the metaphor here.
Yeah. No, I think you made a very good point. Krishna doesn't say what to do. He says what to be. So
Yes.
once you be, so he's focusing on being
That's right.
rather than doing as a commandments. I mean, he's not saying you should get up and fight because I say so.
That's right.
He does say to Arjun, get up and fight, but logically, every time, even in 11th chapter, he says that in his own logic. We'll come to that, but there is no kind of do's and don'ts here. Like, that's a very good point. Um, and then, of course, the openness, it's like the universe reveals to you, or Krishna reveals to you for what you are ready. And it's so humble for Arjun to say that. Do you think I can see that form? So if I can, then allow me to see that. So it's a very nice way of asking. He's not saying, Krishna, show me your, because otherwise I don't believe you. It's
Exactly, because prior to this, he has explained to Arjun to give up that sense of being a doer, rather be an agent of the deed.
yeah,
Okay, by surrendering himself, or kind of understanding that he is an agent. Okay, or in whatever happening in this universe. Okay, as we talked about before, he's the human component of this cosmic happening.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and this knowledge, this knowledge propels him to a different level where he can see his deeds, why he is doing it, how he is doing it. Okay, and this knowledge now wants to a visualization of that. Okay, up till now it was all discussion abstract. Now he's trying to get a mental picture of it, and that's why he wants Krishna to reveal himself, how he's functioning in the cosmic form. And that's the beauty of this chapter.
No, it is. It's a beautiful chapter. That's why I said it's the peak of Gita in a way, in my view. That's where the peak of meditation also, ultimately, you want to visualize, like Ramakrishna used to say, Mahakali. So, if you can, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we all want to meet our hero figure, like high performance figure or rich person or a Bollywood or Hollywood actor. But here, Arjun wants to meet Krishna in his original form. I mean, that's amazing, and he kind of gives us the incentive as well that yes, if Arjun can do, it can happen to other people as well. So that opening is there for me. That's one of the takeaway that yes, if you have the humility, if you have the openness, if you have the sincerity, then it is not unreasonable to expect something like that to happen um, through meditation.
I mean, this, what you just said, it is that inner vision
Yeah,
that he asked Arjun to develop, which he has developed because of all this teaching.
yeah,
And and then in later on we'll see in one of the verses he says, through even the deities, demigods, or the sages, they cannot see this cosmic form unless they get that deep inner vision.
yeah.
Okay.
Or the deep desire with openness.
Yes.
Yeah,
Basically, that's what it is.
yeah. All the deities are busy doing their own job and miracles. So,
They're little agents, but the point is that, yeah, so to understand the wholeness of this cosmic form and how everything is happening, every event is happening, not outside this Brahman or the universal life energy, it's everything is happening within. This word within is very important.
so I think that you made a very good point. You don't have to go outside this universe to find him.
That's right.
You know, he, I know, like we talked in chapter 9 and 10, it's all pervading, everything around you. I mean, when you say vibhuti, that's the 10th chapter, it's like he's, you don't have to go somewhere, like, in an elite place, wherever you are, there is that essence is is Krishna or is divine. So this, how do you see an infinite form? And that's the description that comes. Description is so visual, so vivid. But before we get there, one of the things, Amitabh, you did surgical training, I did surgical training. We were reading that surgery book, Belly and Love in Our Days, maybe, or Christopher. Um, and we used to imagine what the surgery will be like. But it's different when you go and see one before you do one, right?
Of course. And that's why this is the show and tell of Krishna.
Yeah, this is show and tell of Krishna, right? I think that's what it is. The first few slokas are like that. In Bhagwan, Arjun, Krishna says that, okay, I give you this divya drishti, right? This power so that you can see me. It's probably, to me, it's metaphorical, right? You are ready. You have done all your kind of, requirements are met. You're open, you're humble, you look up to Krishna. There is something big here. And now you want to see. So your readiness is there, and that's what Arjun shows in the first, you know, 3 or 4 slokas. And
Yes.
then Krishna says that, yes, this is what we call these days grace, right?
This inner vision, after we toil and we go through it,
Yeah,
then with the grace, our vision opens up.
yeah,
This inner vision.
yeah. And probably I have mentioned it before somewhere as well. Buddha used to say, Sotopan, it's like you can go so far in meditation, but after that, there is a stream that comes and takes you further. So that stream is, that's one of the descriptions. So there is a point where if you are on that inner journey, that grace comes and is needed for
Yeah.
you to catapult into a different.
And this is the one that is called third eye or the inner vision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, third eye, of course, here, but it's like, yeah, I
We
mean,
imagine it is here, but nevertheless, third eye, that is the inner vision.
yeah, I mean, inner vision. Yeah, that's it. So then Sanjay describes, it's so interesting that this whole thing moves from, it's like what Krishna is appears now is fearful. I mean, it's really Arjun gets very disturbed by that form, and the form is described. I mean, um, I love these verses. Pashyami devans tava deva dehe sarvasthatha bhuta vishesa sangam brahmanamisham kamalasanastha murshishcha sarvanurangascha devyan. I mean, these verses are beautiful descriptions of this fierce, fearful, um, it's like amazing description. This Kiritinam Gadinam Chakranam Cha Tejo Rashim Sarvato Diptimantam Pashyami Tvam Dur Niriksham Samanta Diptinarla Kadyutimat Prameyam. I mean, these are something that people do it in as prayer as well. But these descriptions of fear, and then finally he comes in the deer form, in a very polite, that other form. He shows that, and then Arjun asks, it's like he's totally um, knocked down, I mean, knocked out, or whatever word you say, um, from this roop. He's afraid. Arjun, warrior, is afraid from this. And then he asks Arjun, I mean, Krishna, what is this? Who are you? And then the answer is, the verse 32 that I was telling you.
Yep.
And this kalos me, this is the one that Oppenheimer is supposed to have said when the atom bomb explosion happened. And I think his translation was, I have become death, that kind of translation. But kalosmi lokakshaya krit praviddho. Um, we can spend a little bit time here, Amitabh, Kal.
It's a very important verse. Let's spend some time on it.
Yeah, so Kal is time
Yeah.
and Kal is death. So in and those two are connected. Time it's like is running out for all of us, you know. And time, yes, you are born in a time, but you are also dying in a time. So it's a very interesting word that Sanskrit has, and the meaning, one side time, the other side, the death. And here it definitely signifies death. Time and death both go hand in hand. And I think what Krishna is trying to say is he's not meant to make Arjun afraid or fear, but he's showing him the reality of the universe. This is what it is.
Well, the way I understood, it's just in different words,
Yeah,
okay? Basically, all events,
yeah,
our lives, or anything in the nature of Prakriti, everything happens in the dimension of time.
right.
Because we learned that anything that is made of natural element has a beginning, a middle part, and the end.
Yeah,
So, so the events, the objects, everything that is made of nature or the natural element, they are all subject to dimension of time.
yeah,
Now, this time, that's why Krishna says that everything is happening in the dimension of time, and I am that.
mm,
Everything is happening, howsoever big the guy is, what a great warrior he is, or whatever they are.
yeah,
Ultimately, they come out of that form of Krishna and they go back into that form of Krishna. So basically, it's all bound by that timeless
yeah.
universal energy. Now, Arjun is so little compared to that universal form. So anything we see big, I mean, I would say that Arjun is less fearful but overwhelmed.
Totally overwhelmed. I mean, totally, totally overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah,
And when we get overwhelmed, somewhere a little element of fear comes in. So he has not lost his marbles yet. So he says, okay, all right, I saw that. So now show me how
yeah,
friendly you are.
right. But the description is pretty, I
It's a
mean,
beautiful description.
unique. And one of the description here is Divi Surya Sahasrasya. It's like it must be blinding. It's like this was also something that is, was kind of mentioned at the time of nuclear blast, the first atomic blast is it's like 1,000 suns shining at the same time.
Resplendent burst of light.
Yeah,
And that's what it is. So it's blinding, okay, because we are limited by our knowledge.
yeah,
When we see this vastness, then we really get overwhelmed. Normally our vision is so much narrowed, we do not see this universal form. Okay. So here Krishna has opened up Arjun's inner vision. Okay. And Arjun is overwhelmed and he describes that.
yeah,
And then an element of his own smallness and the uh, universal nature of this energy is revealed. So he says, okay, show me your more kind
yeah.
appearance.
I know the kinder one, but for me, when he says, I am time or I
Yes.
am death, it's not a threat. It's an
No, no, it's not a threat.
invitation to understand life's biggest truths.
Exactly. Exactly.
And everything changes, everything moves, and everything transforms. The best thing to do is align with the time rather than resist it.
We cannot fight it anyway.
Well, Arjun tried to resist it. He doesn't want to fight, right?
When we want to fight that one, that is a demonstration of ego. We think we can conquer it. Okay.
But first thing first, on the first, when Arjun starts, this chapter starts, Arjun says that I have clarity now.
Yes.
So that was interesting to see. Yeah. So,
He had theoretical knowledge,
yes.
theoretical clarity, but when it suddenly comes in front of him, then
Yeah.
he gets overwhelmed a little bit. Even though remember when we read all these books about the surgery and operations and all those things,
Yeah.
we thought we know all those things, but when we went to do the first one, what
I have my own story about that, but yeah, that was yeah, it took me 5 attempts to make a skin cut, because yeah, so,
so
but
theoretical, theoretical knowledge, and when it comes right in hand, then we get a little bit overrun. But of course, if you have the preparation, you get through it. So that's what
sure,
Arjun is gradually getting into.
that's what the gradual process, yeah. And this wow factor, I mean, Arjun was always with Krishna. And when he saw this, I mean, Arjun is not going to be ever the same Arjun.
Of course, no. Previously, previously he was Arjun the warrior.
Yeah.
Okay. Now he is Arjun the wise warrior. So
Yeah.
there is a little difference. Okay. It's like getting a degree in surgery and now you have performed the surgeries. And so
So that was the Kaloshmi.
yes,
The next one is really, it fascinates me. The whole Gita, in a way, I think we have made this point many times before. Krishna comes out with big, wide kind of 100,000-mile view, but then he says, do this. Well, because, I mean, he gives reason. He doesn't order Arjun to do it, but and that's what he says. Tasmat tvamististha yasholabhasya. Go and fight. Take the credit. But these are all dead people, These are going to die in a way. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin.
yep.
I mean, this is the key word, nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. As you say, you are agent of the deed.
I repeat that all the time.
I know.
You are to each agent of the deed.
But all this Vishwaroop, this big vision that he had, he points out that all this is there, but you still have to do your work.
Yeah. You see, in doer sense, we talked about it before. In doer, there is the ego.
Yeah.
Agent of the deed is egoless duty and doing it. That's all. Okay. So egoless approach to a duty gives you a lot more clarity.
So, Amitabh, tell me, if Arjun can see that Drone, Bhishma, all these people are being, swallowed by this big, gigantic Krishna, how can you have an ego? It's like
Well, if you don't see that, you will have ego.
he may have an ego that I have seen that.
Well, I mean, there are many things we see we don't learn from it, but
No, sometimes, it's like I meet some president or somebody, high profile person. I have ego now. I mean, now I have a chip. I mean, I've met this, I have a selfie with this person,
yeah,
so I don't think that is happening to Arjun here, though.
no, 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 no. It doesn't happen. The question is, just by seeing a great person, you don't become great person yourself. Okay, this is something you can talk about. Hello?
Yeah.
But nothing beyond that.
Yeah.
So,
But here you will be transformed.
yes,
So Arjun is transformed forever.
that's right.
And I think just reading through this chapter, you and me talking, we will have a transformation too.
Of
You know,
course.
it's an amazing chapter. I mean, it's like this big, vicious Krishna, defiant kind of, it's like thing. And then he comes down as a, beloved kind of I do want to read some of these just because I love them, Sthane Rishikesh Tava Prakritya Jagat Prahishyatya Nurajyate cha Rakshansi Bhita Nidisho Dravanti Sarve Namashyanti cha Siddhi Sangha Tvamadidevah Purushah Puranas Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam वेत्तासि वेद्यं च परं च धाम त्वया ततं विश्वमनन्तरूपम्. He's now saying, you are this great, you are that great, but now it's not like he's buttering Krishna. It's like it's coming from his heart. It's coming from, it's like I have seen Amitav Ghosh do this great vascular surgery, and he's a great surgeon. So, I mean, what he's saying about Krishna is very much like that, right? I mean, he has seen Krishna in a different form.
Yeah, I mean, he is understanding the true nature, okay, ever pervading, all pervading nature or the function of this universal life energy which Krishna represents. And then he has seen him as his friend. Actually, in one of the verses, he does mention,
But here is the verse. It is verse like 41.
yes,
Sakiti matva prasabham yaduktam he Krishna, he Yadav, he Saketi. I used to call you, these things, you know.
I used to call my buddy, but boy, you are something beyond, much more beyond.
Yeah, Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam. I didn't know your goodness. I mean, he's actually even asking for, you know, I don't know if it is forgiveness, but
Yes,
he's,
he's asking for forgiveness.
yeah. Pitasi lokasya characharasya tomasya pugyascha gururgariyam. It's like he goes on, and these verses are used by many in prayers, Krishna prayers. Um, and then he says, I want to see you, Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam.
Yeah.
Ichhami tvam drastu maham tathaiva. Now I want to see you in your pleasant form.
Yeah, in a gentler form. You have shown me all this huge cosmic form, which is scary for me, but now show me as you appear as friend. So basically, what he is looking at, understanding that wholeness of Brahman or universal life energy or the vastness of it, now he wants Krishna to become his personal God. So many a times, what is important, sometimes many people do not understand that abstract God, and they don't want to do that, okay?
Yeah,
Because it's too much difficult. And that's why the concept of Ishwar comes, personal God,
yeah,
okay? So, but as long as we have that, the important point is as long as we have that knowledge that we are ultimately worshipping Brahman or that universal life energy, but because it is so vast, it is beyond our senses, panchendriya agocharam. That's why we want a some image which is personal, and that's all.
yeah. But here, I mean, this chapter is um, it's crucial to understand that
Yes,
Brahman. We always have this Brahman abstract view of Brahman.
that's right.
So it's like, but Brahman could be also representing all the things that we don't like but happen.
Yes,
I mean, people die, people fight. I mean, all those things that happens in the first Vishwarup darshan
yes,
is 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 not that Krishna wants Arjun to be fearful. He wants Arjun to see the real Brahman. I mean, what is Brahman is both
Yes,
creation and destruction.
yes,
And that he in the beginning he says that I create and then they all dissolve.
yes.
But when you face it, it looks fearful.
Of course, because it is so vast, it's beyond our senses. It is something like going to a very vast field, grassland. You do not know what is there. You are the insecurity causes to make you feel small,
Yeah.
and fear comes out of it. But the point is here that once he shows him the true, gives him the true knowledge, then Arjun becomes cognizant of it, and then understand, having all these things in the back of his mind, he now functions in the real world. And that's basically it.
Yeah. But I mean, for me also, I mean, this I just realized that, what Krishna is saying is death or destruction, creation, and the middle part. This is all part of Brahman.
Exactly. And
And
it
in visual form, it may look
because
overwhelming.
it is fearful, overwhelming, because the reason that happens, Krishna, I thought over it many times. Why do we fear death?
Yeah,
It's
the key question is why do we fear death?
the only, and I have thought about it, and many times, fe- death is the ultimate dissolution of our ego. We cease to exist, period. Okay. And that's why all these stories and everything. But that is a reality.
It's inevitable.
Yes. It's a reality. It is inevitable.
Yeah.
Jatasya dhruvo mrityu. What is born is going to die.
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of thinking about death, being fearful about death, the concentration should be what is my duty, and then I become agent of that deed. That's
Yeah.
all.
But also, I think we don't want to see that. We always want to avoid death, right?
Of course.
So,
Because
so
because because we are so important to ourselves.
yeah. So it must have been overwhelming for Arjun to see the reality in front of his eyes, inner vision or external vision, but it was real to him at that time. I mean, it's not that he's dreaming about it, right?
I mean, the death of his own army, or the opponent's army, and the generals and all those things, he's thinking it has happened in the field of Kurukshetra. Somebody killed somebody, but the point is, it is already written because of their own deed. And that's why Krishna, one of the verses says, they are already dead
Yeah,
because of their actions. Okay?
yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah,
Um,
that is what it is. You are an agent.
Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadratham cha Karna Tathanya Napi Yodhaviran. They are all going to die. Maya hatasvam. I have killed them. I mean, he had, he's not even, playing any bush around, beating a bush around.
That's right.
But he's saying that go and fight. If you fight, you win. You get the king, whatever, the throne, you get the yash, you get the credit, and, enjoy. But I don't know how much Arjun will enjoy after knowing all this.
Well, I think,
He is the chosen one. I mean, that's another thing.
yes.
He nimitta matram, but why Arjun is nimitta matram? Because he has the capability of doing it.
And the knowledge now. So he knows
Yeah.
he's Nityamatram. Okay. If he didn't have the knowledge, he would have said that I killed Vishma. So this chapter, as I said, is the show and tell of Brahman, how
Yeah.
it is. And the part I like most in this one, everything is happening within the realm of Brahman, within the realm of that universal life energy. It's happening within, not outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
And
you say
that,
outside, are you talking about outside Brahman?
yeah,
Outside? Okay.
outside Brahman.
Yeah.
It's not, so
Brahman is the all-encompassing, right?
all encompasses. Yes.
Yeah.
So that is a very important concept.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you look at many other places, there is always duality. Okay.
Yeah.
These things are happening outside the God, so-called God. Okay.
Yeah.
But this vision of God is totally different. Everything is happening within that
Yeah.
realm.
So there is no separate God and Saturn. That's what you're trying to say here, is that
Yes, I mean, we do
that's
not
true as well. There is no Saturn, right?
in,
Everything is
in
God.
Hinduism
Destruction.
in Hinduism there is no Satan.
Yeah.
There's no Satan.
Yeah.
Yours Satan is equivalent to Satan in Hinduism is your ego desire complex.
Yeah. So the Brahman takes both roles,
Yeah,
destruction and creation. And that's what Krishna says here.
exactly.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
he's time. I mean, so if you say I'm time, you are Kal, but time has double meaning in Sanskrit.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I always say that this knowledge is not from Vedas or austerity or from what should I say, all rituals and anything like that.
Yeah.
This is something which comes with constant striving and guidance,
Yeah.
this knowledge. And when it is knowledge based, then the surrender comes all the more meaningful.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a coincidence that after this there is Bhakti Yoga, the 12th
Actually, I was going to
chapter.
mention to that. When I first time read, I understand he's talking about Jnana Yoga, he's talked about Karma Yoga early. Where
Yeah.
is Bhakti Yoga? Okay. He did talk. Then I realized that after this chapter, the next chapter is chapter of devotion.
Yeah.
So all this knowledge has been taught, and now comes the real devotion, which is selfless, egoless devotion.
That's what Arjun is ready for.
Exactly.
Now he's ready for, because he says in the beginning he has clarity. Now he has seen this unimaginable kind of vision. You don't even have to say he will be a bhakt. I will
Yes.
become a bhakt. It's like, wow. I mean, it's like, woo. But you wanted to talk about the 53, 54, the last shlokas. Um,
I mentioned that in passing that
yeah,
basically all these practices, unless we have the yogic meditation with it,
yeah,
all these rituals, the sacrifices, fire rituals, whatever you say, pilgrimage, these, that, all becomes meaningless unless you have that yogic meditative knowledge. Once you
yeah.
have that, then obviously it is just a flow.
So Krishna reiterates basically, it's like a bhaktya tvanan nyaya shakya. I mean, basically, if you mana, gives everything to me, your man, your bhakti, man mana, man bhakta. So drop your ego desire, be open, and then you can see this form, the pleasant form he's talking about.
Yes. Then once you have that knowledge of that greatness, all encompassing,
Yeah,
and then when we surrender, we become the nimittam, and then everything we understand, we embrace it as friend.
yeah.
There's no fear there. That's what it is.
मत कर्म कृन मत परमो मद भक्त संग वर्जित निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु यह से मामेति पांडवा. So I like this nirvaira sarvabhuteshu. You don't have any vair with anybody.
Exactly.
And sometimes it seems like you should have vair with somebody, enemy or something, it's like, but you don't have to. Even if you fight, you can fight without having that vair power.
That's the Nistraigunna Bhava Arjuna, he said that before.
Yeah,
Okay. So basically, it is a very difficult thing to go to a war without any emotional upheaval, because
Yeah,
common thing is revenge and anger and all those things.
yeah.
But when you take it as a duty, because you have to establish dharma, okay, or the functioning of this universe, and yet that's as a duty, then there is no place for anger. You have to do it, you have to do it. Okay.
It's so interesting, and in Mahabharata there are two characters, right? Bhim,
Yes.
Arjun, right? So
Yes.
Arjun is Nirvair, but he fights the bigger kind of legends like Bhishma,
Yes.
Drone, Karn. Even then, it's not an easy fight. He more or less has that wear, he because that is his driving force, right?
Yes. I'm glad you mentioned that there is a satire in Bengali literature.
Yeah,
I think I mentioned that to you. After the day in the battlefield, they all retired to their tents. Okay. And then Bhim asks his brother, they are all sitting there. So he said, God, Krishna, what he was talking about and what Arjun were conversing with him for such a long time.
yeah.
Okay. So then Yudhishthir tells him that he was imparting knowledge and how to do his duty without any emotional involvement. Okay. So Bhim says, according to this satirist, the Bhim says that why waste so much time? Just have to evoke anger within him and he would have gone to battle a lot quicker.
Probably he was right. Krishna took a longer approach. He wanted to change Arjun. No,
Yes.
but that's a good point. I mean, uh, yeah, I read somewhere that, it's like Arjun, he could have left Arjun to leave the battlefield, and one arrow to Yudhishthir or his son, he would have come back. So yeah, I think Bhim is right in that sense. But I think the two characters, I mean, of course, Krishna is
Exactly.
talking of a different
Yes.
level. Uh,
Yes.
and he has taken Arjun to a point, and with Arjun, we are kind of having some traction.
किमकुर्वत सञ्जय